The neighborhood children didn't know her name, but they knew her struggle. They called her the fast mom, or the woman who runs, because every morning rain, fog or biting wind she ran down Maple Street with the same fierce determination. A cheap second-hand baby monitor clipped to her belt, and a look in her eyes that said she was fighting a battle no one else could see. But today, something was different. Today, as she ran, she wasn't thinking about her endless bills or the pile of work emails waiting at her small, barely surviving office. Today, she clutched her phone so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Her name was Olivia Hale, a 29-year-old single mother of twins, Van and Emma. She was the kind of woman people underestimated on sight. Thin, worn down, with thrift store shoes and a cardigan she'd mended more times than she could count. She looked like a woman life had chewed on for too long. And yet, inside her, there was a strength that only mothers in constant battle with the world seemed to possess. Her phone buzzed again, and she slowed for just a second, chest tightening with the familiar dread of yet another problem waiting to pounce. But instead of a problem, she saw the message she'd been staring at for the past 10 minutes. Wrong number. But twins with fever sound serious. Are you safe? Do you need help? She had not meant to text this stranger. She had meant to text her sister Jane, but Jane had changed her number 2 days ago and forgotten to tell her not uncommon. Jane lived in her own bubble, free of responsibilities, while Olivia lived in a world full of them. At 5:36 a.m., Olivia had panicked when both twins woke with burning fevers again. She couldn't afford another visit. She couldn't afford to miss work again either. So she had done what desperate mothers do. She begged her sister for help. Except she hadn't texted her sister at all. Now a stranger, someone named Daniel, according to the minimal contact ID, had responded with concern. She wasn't used to receiving. She shook her head and typed quickly, embarrassed. Sorry. Wrong number. Should have ended there, but life was about to twist in a way no one, not even the woman who lived inside daily crisis, could have imagined. She tossed the phone in her bag and continued running, trying to outrun the weight of her life. Her breath misted in the cold morning air as she rounded the corner toward her small rented home. The neighborhood was still waking up. Mr. Lopez was unlocking his bakery. Mrs. Fernandez was watering her roses before sunrise as always. Somewhere in the distance, a bus wheezed its way through the morning commute. Everything was the same, quiet, predictable. Tired, except for one thing: a sleek black limousine was parked in front of her modest home. Olivia slowed to a near stop. Neighbors peeked through curtains. A few kids paused on their bikes wide-eyed. A limousine didn't belong on this street. It was like a diamond ring dropped in a bowl of pennies. A man in a black suit and cap stood by the open door of the limo, checking his watch. Olivia's heart slammed against her ribs. No, it can't be. She swallowed hard, instinctively tugging down her frayed cardigan. Her knees felt weak as the man stepped forward with the smooth, controlled confidence of someone used to wealth and power. "Ms. Hale?" he asked politely. Olivia froze. "Yes. My name is Raymond. I'm the personal escort for Mr. Daniel West." The world tilted. "Mr. West has instructed me to pick you and your children up immediately." Olivia blinked. I don't know any Mr. West." Raymond handed her a business card with a simple embossed logo. West Global HOLDANG. Her stomach dropped. West Global. As in Daniel West, the billionaire whose companies dominated headlines. The kind of man whose mere presence caused boardrooms to stiffen. A man so wealthy that people speculated he could buy a small country. "This is some mistake," she whispered. Raymond's face softened with a hint of sympathy. "Miss Hale, Mr. West, received your message this morning." Olivia went cold. Her message, the wrong number. Her hands shook. I told him it was a mistake. He insists it was not." Olivia's breath caught. He said. Raymond continued. "We need to talk about the twins." Olivia stumbled back as if the words were physical blows. The neighbors were staring now, whispering, wondering who she really was. She felt heat crawl up her neck. Shame, confusion, fear all swirling at once. "What is going on?" she demanded. "Why would a billionaire care about my children?" Raymond's expression remained unreadable. "Mr. West asked me to tell you one more thing. Something he said would make you listen." He paused. "He said he knows the twins' names. Evan and Emma." Olivia's blood ran cold. She had never mentioned their names in the text. Raymond quietly added, "He also said Evan is allergic to penicillin. And Emma sleeps with a stuffed bear named Luna, missing one button." Olivia's breath hitched. She felt as if the world had suddenly peeled away, leaving her exposed and shaking. How could this stranger know things only she and her babysitter knew? She stared at him, terrified. "Who are you people?" Raymond gently reached into his coat and handed her an envelope sealed with a gold crest. "Mr. West asked me to give this to you should you resist." Her fingers trembled as she opened the envelope. Inside was a single, handwritten note. "Olivia, I understand your fear. The world has not been kind to you and I had no intention of entering your life. But there is something you deserve to know. 6 years ago, I made a donation to a fertility clinic in Portland. The birth records match. We should talk privately. If you prefer, I will come to you." Daniel West, her vision blurred for a moment. The donor, the number she'd chosen when she was younger, desperate and full of hope. Believing anonymous help was her only chance at motherhood she had never expected. To know the donor's identity, she had never wanted to. Now the most powerful man in the city was saying he might be connected to her. "Children," her legs nearly gave out. "Miss Hale," Raymond asked softly, "are you all right?" Olivia barely nodded as her heart hammered. She rushed to her house, her body moving faster than her panicked thoughts. Inside, her babysitter, Mrs. Chen, sat beside the twins, reading them a story. They looked up, flushed, feverish, and exhausted. "Mommy." They CHORUSED. Emma lifted Luna the bear, waving the one-eyed toy proudly. Evan wiped sweat from his brow, looking pale. Olivia knelt, out touching their warm foreheads. Her mind raced. Bills piled on the counter. Overdue notices tucked in drawers. Hospital debt collectors leaving voicemails. Her job hanging by a thread. She looked at her children, her miracles. The only good thing life had given her without conditions. Then she remembered Daniel's final words. No strings attached. Just help for the twins. Her throat tightened. Asterisk, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was something else entirely. But the twins needed medical attention. "Mrs. Chen," Olivia whispered, voice shaking. "Help me get them dressed. We're going to see a doctor." 20 minutes later, Olivia and the twins were inside the limousine. The leather seats felt too soft beneath her. The tinted windows made the world outside look distant and unreal. Evan and Emma stared around in awe. "Mommy," Emma whispered, "are we going to a princess castle?" Olivia forced a smile, stroking her daughter's fever-warmed cheek. "No, sweetheart. Just a nice man's house." Her stomach tightened around the lie. This wasn't just a house. It was the estate of a billionaire. A mysterious billionaire who believed he might be connected to her children as the limo began moving. Olivia's mind swirled with worry, suspicion, fear, hope, and questions she didn't dare voice. The car headed toward the wealthy West Ridge district far above the life she knew. Past manicured lawns, towering gates, and security cameras. As they approached the crest of the hill, Olivia exhaled sharply. The estate came into view, a mansion large enough to hold a small town. Tall iron gates glided open at their arrival. Gardens trimmed to perfection. Fountains, imported stone. Everything radiating quiet, understated power. Evan clutched her hand. "Mommy, who lives here?" Before she could answer, the limo slowed to a stop. Raymond stepped out first, and then the door opened. A man stood at the top of the steps, tall, sharp, confident. His presence felt like gravity pulling the world toward him. He wore no tie, no pretense. Just a charcoal shirt, sleeves rolled. expensive watch glinting faintly, his eyes cold, sharp, intelligent, locked onto Olivia, and froze there. For a moment, he looked as shaken as she felt. Then he took a slow breath, regaining the control of a man used to commanding nations of people. Olivia. His voice was low, smooth, unnervingly calm. "Thank you for coming," Olivia swallowed. "I didn't have much choice." His gaze flicked to the twins. They stared back, feverish but curious. The billionaire inhaled sharply. His jaw tightened, his eyes softened, and for the first time, Olivia saw something unexpected emotion. Asterisk, he stepped closer, slowly, as if afraid to scare them. "Evan," he murmured. "Emma." The twins blinked. "How do you know our names?" Evan asked bluntly. Daniel's voice caught for a fraction of a second. That he said softly, "Is exactly why I asked you here." Olivia's pulse thundered. She had expected danger, arrogance, manipulation. But not this. Not a man who looked like he was seeing ghosts. Not a billionaire who looked at her children as if they were the most important thing in the world. "Come inside," he said gently. "There's something you need to know." Olivia hesitated just for a moment. Then she followed him. Toward answers was not ready for. Toward truths she feared. Toward a future she had never imagined. Inside the mansion, everything was silent except for the twins' sniffles and the distant hum of air conditioning. A pediatrician waited in a private medical suite. Olivia stayed by the twins' side the entire time, hands trembling as the doctor examined them with careful precision. Daniel did not leave the doorway. His eyes never left the children. Not once. After the doctor finished and excused himself, Daniel gestured toward a quiet sitting room. Olivia followed, tension knotting in her stomach. He closed the door behind them. The silence thickened. Then he turned to her with an expression she had never seen on a billionaire's face. "Fear, Olivia," he said softly. "I believe your twins might be mine." The world crashed around her. She gripped the arm of the chair, breath shuddering. He continued, voice calm but trembling at the edges. "6 years ago, I donated, anonymously. I never expected contact. Never expected children. My life wasn't built for them." His eyes flickered with guilt, regret, longing. "Message this morning, your words, their birth dates, everything aligned. Too perfectly." She stared at him, frozen. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I ran a verification this morning through private channels. Not invasive, just comparisons. Birth facility, dates, donor profiles. I would never violate your privacy, Olivia. But every match pointed to me." Her throat constricted. "I'm not asking for anything," he said quickly. "Not custody, yet responsibility. Not intrusion. I only want to know the truth. If they are mine, if I am theirs, then I want to help. In whatever way you will allow." Olivia's world spun so violently she felt sick. All her life, people had ignored her, dismissed her, seen her as a burden. And now, a man worth billions was looking at her with sincerity and fear and hope tangled together. Olivia's voice cracked. "I didn't want them to grow up needing anyone. I didn't want to owe anyone. I didn't want them to ever feel abandoned." Daniel's expression shattered. "I would never abandon them," he whispered. The room went still. The house went quiet. The world went silent, except for the sound of two broken adults trying to navigate a truth that neither had expected. Then, softly, a small voice. "Mommy." Olivia turned. Evan stood at the doorway, clutching his stuffed truck. Emma beside him, holding Luna by the arm. "We're tired," Evan mumbled. Daniel looked at them with something bordering on awe. Olivia swallowed her tears and crossed to them. As she knelt, she felt his gaze on her back, heavy, emotional, raw. Something was beginning. Something impossible. Something terrifying. Something beautiful. And Olivia Nurite there, in the billionaire's silent mansion that nothing in her life would ever be the same again. Asterisk, the limo door closes. And her old life, with it, the soft thud of the limo door closing behind Maya, felt like the sound of her old world collapsing into silence. Outside the neighborhood she'd known cracked sidewalks, flickering lights, the tiny apartment she struggled to maintain, blurred into the tinted glass. Inside, the leather seats chilled air, and quiet professionalism gave off a surreal sense of luxury she had never experienced. A part of her still clung to fear. Why would a billionaire want to speak to her? Why about the twins? What twins? Well, another part whispered, maybe this man. Maybe he knows something about my past. The babies stirred in their car seats, their soft cries snapping her from her thoughts. The chauffeur spoke without turning. Miss Maya, Mr. Archer is expecting you. Sit back. You're safe. Safe. She hadn't heard that word in years. And yet she didn't feel safe at all. 2. The road to the unknown. City lights stretched outward as the limo moved through traffic. Maya watched reflections in the window herself, the babies, the faint shadows of exhaustion under her eyes. She kept thinking about the text she'd sent the night before. That humiliating, desperate message, begging for help buying baby formula. Her stomach twisted with embarrassment. He must think she's pathetic. The twins let out tiny coos. Maya reached for their hands. Don't worry, little ones. Mommy's here. But she wasn't sure how long she could keep being the strong one. Her thoughts raced again. Does he want to take my babies? Does he think they're his? Or does he know something about the father? A memory flashed in. Emergency room. Confusion. Pain. A nurse telling her she'd collapsed from malnutrition during the late stages of pregnancy. She'd almost lost the twins. She had no job then. No savings. No clue who would help her. The limo slowed. They were no longer in the city center. They were climbing toward the heights, toward wealth. Toward Power 3, the gate that shouldn't. Open for her ahead stood a set of tall wrought iron gates engraved with an emblem and intertwined with a hawk's wings. Archer Holdings, the gate opened smoothly, almost silently. Maya's breath caught. The driveway was lined with artfully lit trees and carefully arranged stones, leading to a mansion that looked like something from a movie. Glass walls, cascading. Water, warm golden lighting like a palace trying to look welcoming. Nothing about it felt welcoming. Why am I here? The chauffeur opened her door. This way, miss. Her legs trembled as she stepped out. The wind was cooler here, the air cleaner, the silence oppressive. She lifted the twins' carriers and followed him inside. 4. The first meeting and the first shock, the interior was even more overwhelming. Grand marble floors, spiraling staircases, paintings that looked older than her entire family history. A woman in a navy suit approached, hands clasped politely. Miss Maya. Right this way, Mr. Archer is in the atrium. Atrium. She'd only heard that word in movies, but nothing prepared her for what she saw next. Standing near a wall of glass, hands in pockets, wearing a dark tailored suit, was the man from the photo she'd accidentally texted the CEO, with sharp eyes and an air of control. His presence felt heavy in the room, like gravity bending around him. When he turned to face her, something strange flashed in his expression. Recognition. Relief. Sadness. Maya, he said softly. He knew her name, just from her text. Her throat tightened. I'm sorry about the message. I didn't mean we'll talk about that later, he said. For now, I want you to know you're not in trouble. His eyes moved down to the babies, and then his entire body went still. Maya. His voice dropped, hoarse, almost disbelieving. They look exactly like him. Her heart nearly stopped. Him who... She breathed. But before he could answer, a woman's heels clicked across the floor. 5. The unexpected enemy, a tall woman with glossy hair, expensive clothes, and an expression sharp enough to cut glass, approached. She couldn't be more than 35. Confident. Perfect posture. She looked at Maya the way people look at something spilled on the floor. Oh, the woman said, folding her arms. So she's here. Maya blinked. She didn't even know this woman. The CEO's jaw tightened. Isabella, not now. Isabella's eyes scanned Maya, lingering on her worn clothes, frayed diaper bag, and the babies. Oh, this is rich, Isabella said. You bring her into your home, with 2 babies.
Tell
Me, are we doing charity cases now, or is this something else? Maya swallowed hard. Shame burned across her face. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. Do you know how many women pull stunts like this? Isabella scoffed. You think you're the first to show up with babies hoping for a payout?
Yeah.
The attack hit too close to her insecurity. Maya stepped back protectively toward the twins. I never asked to come here, she said softly. I didn't even know who he was. Isabella smirked. Of course you didn't. The CEO stepped between them. Isabella, leave. She looked shocked. Excuse me, you heard me, he said. His tone wasn't loud, but it was final. Isabella's mouth twisted. You'll regret this, she muttered before storming out. The silence that followed was thick. Maya's breathing trembled. Who was she? He exhaled. My fiancé. 6. A revelation she never saw coming. Maya felt as if the floor dropped under her. His fiancé? And he still brought her here? Look, I don't know what's happening, she whispered, but I don't want to ruin your life or your relationship. He ran a hand through his hair. You haven't ruined anything. The truth is, Isabella and I were already falling apart. But that's not why I brought you here. He glanced again at the babies. I brought you here because the moment I saw their photo, I recognized something. Maya shook her head. Recognized what? They don't even look like me. Everyone keeps saying that. He stepped closer, voice low, intense. They look exactly like my brother. Her chest constricted. I don't understand. The CEO took a breath, as though preparing for something painful. My twin brother, he said. He disappeared 2 years ago. No trace, no explanation. I've searched for him everywhere. He swallowed hard, and those babies, Maya, they look like him. Her knees weakened, and she gripped the twins' carriers for support. I never met your brother, she whispered. I don't know any wealthy men. I don't know anyone who looks like you. He looked at her for a long moment. Then tell me, he said, voice trembling with restrained emotion, who is the father of your children? Her lips parted, the room spun. I don't know. 7. The memory that changes everything. She felt sick admitting it. I don't know. He stared, stunned. Maya forced the words out, shaking. The night I found out I was pregnant. I had gone to a job interview at a restaurant. They said the manager wanted to meet me, but instead they put something in my drink. I woke up in a hotel room. Alone, confused, terrified. Her voice cracked. I filed a report, but nothing happened. They said I couldn't remember anything clearly, that there was no evidence. Shut his eyes, jaw clenched in fury. Something about her words hit him deeply. Which restaurant? He asked sharply. She gave the name. His eyes flew open. That place belonged to my brother, he said quietly. Before he went missing, her blood ran cold. What? What are you saying? Maya, he said, stepping closer. My brother didn't run the restaurant. Someone else did. Someone dangerous. Someone who would want to make him disappear. His tone darkened. And if the twins are his, then he may not be missing. She gasped. I mean, he said he might have been taken. What? The babies whimpered. And for the first time, Maya wasn't afraid of the billionaire. She was afraid of the truth. 8. His final words. And the cliffhanger, the CEO, knelt in front of the babies. Studying their faces as if they held the answers to years of grief, he looked up at her, Maya. I swear to you, I will find out what happened. To him, to you. To all of this, he stood. And starting now, You and the twins stay here. Under my protection, she gasped. What? No, I can't. You can, he said firmly. And you will, because someone hurt you. Someone took my brother, and now the babies are connected to all of it. He turned away, pulling out his phone. I'll have a room prepared. A doctor for the twins. Security. Wait, she tried. He paused, looking back. We're not done talking about the text you sent, he said quietly. And we're not done talking about the father. Her heartbeat thundered. He added, voice low, dangerous. But Maya, I need you to understand something, she swallowed. He stepped toward her. Whoever did this, whoever hurt you, they wanted these twins born. And now that they know you're here, he looked toward the long glass windows, the dark forest outside. They'll come looking. Maya's blood ran cold. What do you mean? He met her eyes. Maya, this isn't an accident. You and the twins are in danger. The mansion isn't safe after all for a few seconds. Maya felt like she couldn't breathe. Danger? Someone coming for her twins? A billionaire claiming they looked like his missing brother? Her hands instinctively tightened around the baby carriers. What do you mean? We're in danger? Maya managed to whisper. Elijah Archer, the billionaire CEO, didn't answer immediately. He was staring out through the floor-to-ceiling windows, his expression tense, alert. When he finally turned back toward her, he wasn't the calm, mysterious man who brought her here. He looked like a man preparing for war. Maya, he said slowly, the people involved in my brother's disappearance are not normal criminals. They're powerful, connected, and if they learn about the twins, he stepped closer, they will want them. Her heart stopped. Why? She demanded, voice breaking. Why would anyone want my babies? He didn't hesitate. Because the twins may be the last link to something my brother knew. Something that got him taken. 2. The babies cry, and something strange happens, as sudden cry echoed through the vast atrium. One of the twins woke, tiny face scrunched with discomfort. The others soon followed, their little voices trembling. Maya knelt quickly, soothing them with trembling fingers. Elijah watched, and something softened in his eyes. You're good with them, he said. Gently. I'm all they have, she answered. Her stomach ached, remembering how she struggled to afford formula. Just the day before, while standing now in a mansion worth more than everything she had ever seen. Elijah went quiet for a moment. Then, let me hold them. Maya froze. No man had ever asked that. She searched his face for any sign of danger, but found something else. Longing, pain, recognition. He wasn't lying. She hesitated, then slowly lifted one twin into his arms. Elijah held the baby stiffly at first, like a man who had spent his life controlling companies but never touched someone so fragile. Then the baby reached up and touched his chin. His expression crumpled. He really does look like my brother, he whispered. Maya exhaled shakily. If that's true, then that means your brother Elijah cut her off, voice darkening. It means my brother was set up, and so were you. 3. The story he never told anyone. Elijah motioned toward a side room, a smaller, more private space, with bookshelves and warm amber lighting. Maya followed, holding the other baby close. Once inside, he shut the door. My brother disappeared 2 years ago, he began. No signs of a struggle. No messages, nothing. The police claimed he ran away. But I know him. He wouldn't disappear without telling me. Maya listened, breath caught. We're twins, he continued softly. We always felt each other's pain. Our father used to say we were born connected. He looked at the baby in his arms, the baby who shared his brother's eyes. Then one night, I felt something. A sudden terror, like someone tore him away. Maya shivered. And after that, he added, I received a message. Just 3 words, don't look here. Her skin prickled. Do you know who sent it? She whispered. He nodded slowly. Someone who worked with him. Someone who ran the restaurant you mentioned. It's the same place where Maya's life changed forever. Elijah. she whispered. Are you saying the night I was drugged, your brother was there too? I think, he said carefully, that you and my brother were trapped in the same web. You suffered one way. He suffered another. Her stomach twisted, and the twins, she whispered, voice shaking, are proof that something terrible happened. He nodded gravely, and someone powerful may want to erase that proof. For a stranger at the gate before Maya could respond, a loud chime echoed through the mansion. Elijah stiffened. That's the security alarm, he said sharply. Her pulse skyrocketed. Alarm? What kind of alarm? He handed the baby back to Maya and pulled out his phone. Checking the security feed, all the color drained from his face. What is it? She asked, panic rising. He swallowed hard. Someone is outside the gate asking for you. Her blood turned to ice. Me. Elijah zoomed in on the camera feed. A woman, tall, hooded jacket, hidden face, standing perfectly still. Who is she? Maya whispered. I don't know, he said. But she's holding something. He enlarged the image further. A photo of Maya and the twins. Maya felt her knees weaken. Elijah. She knows us. His jaw clenched. She won't get anywhere near this house. Tap the intercom. This is private property. State your name. The woman looked up directly into the camera. Her voice was shockingly calm. I'm here for the babies. Maya gasped. Elijah's eyes darkened. Over my dead body? 5. Security response and a message that haunts her. Elijah turned to Maya. Voice urgent. Go upstairs. Take the twins. Don't open the door for anyone. Is she dangerous? Maya asked, heart hammering. I don't know, and that's what makes her dangerous. She ran up the grand staircase. Clutching both babies inside a guest suite, she locked the door and pressed her back against it, trying to calm her breathing. After several minutes, Elijah entered with 2 guards behind him. She's gone, he said. Maya didn't relax. She left something, he added. What? Maya whispered. Elijah held out an envelope. Her name was written in perfect handwriting. Maya's hands shook as she opened it. Inside, a single newspaper clipping. From 2 years ago, local woman found unconscious, case dismissed due to insufficient evidence. It was her story. Her assault. Her trauma. But someone had circled the date twice. Maya's breath caught. Elijah. That's the exact date your brother went missing. He froze. Their eyes met. Everything clicked into place. Someone knew, she breathed. Someone was there. Someone saw us both. Elijah stepped closer, voice low and shaken. Maya. I don't think your assault and my brother's disappearance were coincidences. She trembled. They were connected. 6. The room. Prepared for her, but it feels like a cage with the envelope still in her hands. Elijah led her deeper into the mansion. They passed a long hallway lined with framed awards. Photographs of him and his brother smiling as children, their bond unmistakable. He opened a door at the end. This will be your room, he said. It was beautiful. Too beautiful. A king-size bed, silk curtains, soft lighting. A perfect crib already prepared for each baby. But Maya didn't step inside. It feels like a cage, she said quietly. Elijah looked pained. I'm only trying to keep you safe. I know, she whispered. But safety doesn't feel like safety when you don't understand the danger. He hesitated. Then he stepped closer, his voice gentler. I'm not your enemy. Maya. She looked up at him, really looked. For the first time, she saw the man behind the power, a broken brother. A tiny metal tag on one of the twins' hospital bracelets hidden under the plastic clip. What is that? She asked, lifting the baby's arm. Elijah leaned in. A small engraving. Room 917. He read aloud. Maya frowned. That wasn't from the hospital where I delivered. They didn't engrave anything. He stiffened. What hospital did you go to after? The assault, he asked. She whispered the name. Elijah paled. My brother was brought to the same hospital. The same night? Maya's heart nearly stopped. Elijah. What does that mean? He swallowed hard. It means someone moved you both to the same floor, the same room block. At the same time, her fingers trembled. Why? She whispered, his jaw tightened. To keep the truth controlled, he said softly. To keep both of you quiet. And now, he looked at the babies in their cribs. The twins may be the last clue. 8. Night falls. But sleep doesn't. Camila insisted on placing 2 armed guards outside Maya's door. She fed the twins, rocked them to sleep, but her mind wouldn't stop racing. Who was the woman at the gate? Why did she have the newspaper clipping? Who circled the date? What really happened in room 917? A knock sounded. Maya stiffened. Who is it? It's me, Elijah said from the other side. She opened the door slightly. His hair was messy now, stress visible across his face. I need to show you something, he said. What is it? He handed her a photograph. A security still. A hallway. A shadowed figure. Someone carrying a bundle wrapped in a white sheet. The timestamp. 2:06 a.m. the night she was assaulted. Same hospital. Same floor. Same room block. Maya's voice cracked. Elijah? Is that? He nodded. I think that's the moment my brother was taken. Her hand covered her mouth, and we're going to find out who did it. 9. The final blow. A call that changes. Everything's just when Maya thought the night couldn't get worse. Elijah's phone buzzed violently. He looked at the screen and his face drained of color. What? She whispered. He met her eyes, voice barely audible. The police just found something. Her heart raced. What did they find? Elijah swallowed hard. A body. Maya gasped. No, Elijah. Not. He shook his head quickly. They don't know if it's him. They want me to come identify it. She covered her mouth as tears welled. Elijah. I'm so sorry. He looked shattered, but he pulled himself together. I will go, he said. But you stay here. Do not open the door. Do not go anywhere. Someone is watching us. He turned to leave. Elijah, she whispered. He paused. Do you think? If that body isn't your brother, he could still be alive. Elijah closed his eyes. Then he whispered, I think someone took him because he uncovered something. And whatever he knew, someone now wants the twins. Her stomach dropped. Elijah. He stepped closer. We're going to discover the truth, he said fiercely. But right now, Maya, you are the key. Her breath caught. Why me? He looked at her with an intensity that shook her. Because you were the last person my brother was connected to. Her heart pounded, and someone tried to erase both of you. The drive to the morgue. Elijah didn't wait for the driver. He grabbed his keys, stormed out through the underground garage, and sped off into the night. The mansion felt unnaturally silent without him. Maya watched from the upstairs window, heart pounding violently. She held one twin against her chest as the other slept in the crib. The lamplight cast long shadows across the walls. Something in her gut whispered, Tonight is not going to end well. Please. Let it not be his brother, she whispered into the darkness. But the truth felt much more complicated than simply a missing brother. There was a web, a system, a network of people who all connected back to the same place, the restaurant where her life was ruined. She rubbed her forehead, exhausted and overwhelmed. Whoever had sent the woman to the mansion knew everything, and they were getting closer. Point 2. The morgue. A body on the table. Elijah stormed through the Portland Medical Examiner's building escorted by 2 officers. He knew better than to slow him down. Inside the cold morgue, the coroner pulled back the sheet from the unidentified body. Elijah's breath caught. It was a man, dark hair, similar jawline, tall, same build as his brother. But then no, Elijah whispered. Not him. Relief washed over him like a wave, but so did dread. Then who is he? Elijah demanded. The coroner cleared his throat and held up a plastic evidence bag. Inside was a metal key. Engraved with a number, 917, Elijah froze. That's the same number Maya found on the baby bracelet, whispered. His heart hammered. So whoever this man is, he was in the same place that night. Elijah the coroner added carefully, "There's something you need to hear." He passed Elijah another bag containing a torn piece of paper, a message. Faded but still readable. "If anything happens to me, find the girl with the twins." Elijah went completely still. "My brother wrote that," he whispered. "I know his handwriting." The officer stared at him. "Elijah, does this mean it means?" he said, his voice shaking with anger. "Someone is killing people connected to that night." He grabbed his coat. "And Maya and the twins are next." Maya's night. A strange noise in an empty hallway back in the mansion. Maya paced the room. Her thoughts swirled. The woman at the gate. The engraved bracelet. The clipped newspaper. The man in the morgue, and Elijah's terrified urgency. She was starting to realize he wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for her. A soft thud echoed from the hallway. She froze. Another sound followed. A scrape. A slow movement. She hugged the twins tighter. "Who's there?" She called softly. Silence. She opened the door a crack. The hallway was empty, but something was wrong. The guard who had been standing outside her door was gone. "Hello?" She whispered, no answer. Then her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Don't scream. She's on the stairs." Maya's body went cold. She turned her head. At the bottom of the staircase, visible through the railing, stood the same hooded woman who had come to the gate. Still, silent, watching. Maya slammed the door shut and locked it. Heart racing so hard she thought she would faint. For Elijah speeds home, a race against time. Elijah drove like a madman. His car slicing through the dark roads. He kept replaying the message in his brother's handwriting. "Find the girl with the twins." His brother knew her. His brother tried to protect her. His brother died for something connected to her case. And someone else now knew where she was. He called Harrison. Breathless. "Get all the guards. Lock down the house. Maya isn't safe." "Sir," Harrison said anxiously, "one of the guards is missing." Elijah's grip tightened. "Which one?" "Mark." Elijah slammed the brakes. Mark was the guard assigned to the back entrance. "The most vulnerable point," Elijah Harrison added. "There's something else." "What?" Elijah snapped. "There's movement inside the house." Elijah froze. "Inside?" "Yes, sir. Unidentified. No one authorized." Elijah pressed the accelerator so hard the engine snarled. "Don't let anything happen to her." 5. Inside the mansion, the woman speaks. The twins began to whimper as Maya backed away from the door. Clutching them tightly, another message popped up on her phone. "I'm not here to hurt them. I'm here to warn you." "Warn me?" Her throat tightened. "Who are you?" Maya whispered, terrified. The woman knocked once, gentle, not violent. A voice came through the door. Soft. Female.com. "Maya. Open it, please." "No." Maya shouted. "I know what happened to you," the woman said. "I was there." Maya's blood turned to ice. At the restaurant, the woman continued, "The night you went missing." The room spun. "And I know Elijah's brother," she added. "I know what he was trying to expose." Maya's knees almost buckled. "What do you want?" she whispered. "To save you," the woman said. "But I can't help you if you don't let me in." Maya looked at her sleeping babies. This woman was a stranger, a trespasser, potentially dangerous. But she sounded terrified, desperate, and the fact she knew the restaurant. The case? Elijah's brother. There was no way it was random. Her phone buzzed again. "He's coming." The one who really did it, her breath caught. "Who?" Maya whispered loudly through the door. "Who is coming?" The woman's voice cracked for the first time. Someone Elijah trusts. 6. The betrayal in the house footsteps echoed through the hallway, heavy, slow, deliberate, not the woman's. Someone else. Maya grabbed a vase. The closest thing to a weapon she could find, The footsteps stopped right outside the door. She held her breath. Maya. A man's voice said calmly. Open the door. Her stomach dropped. It was the missing guard, Mark, the one who had vanished. I'm here to escort you to a safer room, he said. Her voice shook. Where's Harrison? No answer. She backed away, whispering to herself. No. Elijah said Harrison was supposed to stay with the other guards, eh? Sudden crash shook the entire room. Something slammed against the door. Hard. Maya cried out and backed up. Shielding the babies, open the door. Mark shouted. His tone was no longer professional. It was violent, predatory. The woman outside. The house had been right. Someone Elijah trusted was the real threat. Point 7. The fight at the door. A warning to light the hooded woman's voice came through Maya's phone next. Maya, listen to me. Keep the twins close. I'm coming. Another slam shook the door. Wood cracked. Mark was trying to break it down. You shouldn't have texted him. He screamed from the other side. Now they know. Who were they? Maya screamed for help, but the mansion was too big. Too empty. Mark smashed the lock once more. The frame splintered. Then a out crash. A heavy thud. Silence. Maya froze. Then she heard a whisper. It's okay. I stopped him. The hooded woman. Maya finally opened the door. Just an inch. Asterisk. The woman stood there breathing heavily, her hood falling back slightly. She was young. Early 30s, bruised, shaking, and she looked at Maya with eyes full of fear and guilt. I didn't come to take your babies, she said quietly. She knelt. Palms up, showing she carried no weapon. I came because I was part of the group that hurt you. Maya's breath left her body. I was wrong, the woman whispered. Your pain, your trauma. I helped them, and I'm sorry. Maya's head spun. I thought you were dead that night, the woman continued. I thought. She broke down crying, and Elijah's brother. He tried to stop them. He tried to save you. Maya's heart stopped. Elijah's brother? She whispered. The woman nodded. He was there. He tried to pull you out of the room. He fought them hard. Maya's hand shook violently, and when he disappeared, the woman said, I knew they silenced him too. Maya staggered. Oh my God, she whispered. He tried to save me? Yes, the woman said, meeting her eyes. He died saving you. 8. Elijah arrives. The truth shatters. The front door slammed open downstairs. Ma. Elijah roared, voice echoing through the mansion. He raced up the stairs, face pale, eyes frantic, and froze when he saw the woman kneeling outside the room. You, he whispered, voice dripping with anger. I know you. The woman lowered her head. Elijah. I'm sorry. I tried to warn you. Maya tried to speak, but Elijah held up his hand, his expression full of betrayal. You were working with them, he said. You disappeared after my brother vanished. The woman nodded slowly. I was scared. They threatened my family. Elijah's jaw clenched. You should have come to me. I'm coming now, she whispered. Because they want the twins. They want Maya, and they won't stop. Elijah stepped closer, fists shaking. Tell me, he demanded. Did you see who took my brother? The woman swallowed hard. Yes, she whispered. Maya's heart thudded. Elijah's face went cold. Dangerous. Who was it? He asked, voice trembling. The woman looked at him, and everything inside her broke. It was someone inside your company, he whispered. Someone high up. Elijah's eyes narrowed. Give me the name. The woman finally said it, a name that shattered Elijah's world. A name that made Maya gasp. A name that changed everything. Harrison. The final realization. And the next threat, Elijah staggered backward. Harrison, he whispered. My right hand? My friend. The woman nodded. He helped orchestrate everything. He knew your brother was investigating the restaurant. He knew you would go looking for him. So he hid evidence. And framed others. Maya trembled. Harrison was in charge of your security tonight, she whispered. He knew where I was. Elijah's eyes widened. He grabbed his phone dead. No signal. Harrison disabled the network, the woman said. He's coming back. Elijah turned to Maya. We need to leave this house. Now. But the babies, Maya began. I'll carry them, Elijah said firmly. The woman looked between them. If you want to survive, she whispered urgently, we need to go out the back. Maya swallowed hard. Elijah. What if he's already out there? Elijah met her eyes. We don't have a choice. 10. The escape into darkness alarms began to blare loud. Echoing through the mansion, red security lights flashed. System override. The entire house was being locked down. Maya's panic surged. Elijah, I know, he said, gripping her hand. He's here. Together, the three of them, Maya, Elijah, and the former accomplice, ran down the stairs as the twins cried. Sensing the tension, lights flicked off. Doors sealed shut behind them. It felt like the house was closing in. We have to move. The woman yelled. Elijah kicked open a service door. Cold winds slammed into them as they ran outside into the night, into the trees behind the estate. But as they reached the edge of the property, a spotlight snapped on. A voice echoed through the yard. Going somewhere? Maya froze. Elijah pulled her behind him. Eyes blazing, from the shadows stepped, Rassen gun in hand. Expression cold, cruel. Not the loyal man Elijah thought he knew. You should have stayed in your tower, Rassen said softly. Now everything you care about will burn. The twins cried louder. Maya's hands shook. Elijah stepped in front of her. Harrison, he said, voice low and deadly. You're going to regret this. Harrison smiled darkly. No, Elijah. You are? The woman whispered. Maya, Elijah. Run. Maria stood beside James as they entered the bright hospital hallway. Daniel sat on a bench ahead, holding a folder against his chest. When he saw them approach, his jaw tightened. But he didn't look angry. He looked defeated. Daniel, James began calmly, we need to talk. Daniel nodded slowly. I know. Maria held her breath. Everything in her life, the fear, the struggle. The exhaustion seemed to gather in that single moment. James stepped closer to Daniel. You're their father. But you made mistakes. We can fix this. If you choose to do right by them now. Daniel swallowed hard, eyes glistening. I didn't understand what I was losing until I lost it, Maria spoke softly. They just needed a father who tried. Not money. Not perfection. Just effort. Daniel hesitated, then opened the folder in his hands a custody agreement. But instead of fighting, he pushed it toward her. I'm signing over full custody to you, he said gently. They deserve stability, and you're the one who gives it. Maria froze. Daniel, are you sure? He nodded. I'll still visit. I'll still help. But I won't take them away from the only safe home they've ever known. Her eyes filled with tears. James placed a supporting hand on her back. This is the right decision. Daniel looked at James. And thank you for helping her when I didn't. James didn't smile, but his voice softened. Do better from here on. That's how you start earning forgiveness. Daniel exhaled shakily. I will. He stood, took one last look at the sleeping twins through the room window, then quietly walked away. For the first time, Maria didn't feel anger, only relief. Closure. A new beginning. Weeks passed, and life became gentle again. Maria moved into a small but beautiful new home, the one James had helped her secure, without ever making her feel indebted. The twins finally had their own room, painted in soft colors, filled with sunlight. James visited often, not out of responsibility, but because he wanted to. One evening, while the twins played in the yard, he turned to her. You know, he said softly, the night you texted me by accident, it didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like something meant to happen. Maria smiled, eyes warm. Maybe it was. He took a deep breath. I don't want to replace anything in your life, but I'd like to be part of it. If you'd let me, her heart fluttered. She wasn't expecting this, not now, not after everything, but the peace she felt beside him. It was real. She nodded gently. I'd like that. His smile was quiet, sincere. Karma's final answer months later, the company held a charity event. Maria walked in, elegant but humble, holding James's hand. People whispered. But not with the cruelty she once heard now, with respect. The same manager who humiliated her at the grocery store was also present. She gasped, recognizing her instantly. You. The woman stuttered. I remember you. Maria smiled politely. I remember you too. James stepped beside her. Maria is our new community outreach advisor. She'll be working directly with me. The woman's face drained of color. Maria didn't gloat. She didn't need to. Her success was the answer. Final scene that night, Maria tucked the twins into bed. They giggled as she kissed their foreheads. From the doorway, James watched quietly.